Intelligent Ramblings with your host, Bill Lofton. Co-hosted by Gary Glenn and William Howington. With help from John Cohn.
Good evening, world. There's Jaeger back in the background making his.
Jaeger's auditioning.
Thing about Jaeger is if a damn leaf falls, he starts barking. Now, if there's a cat outside, he goes ape. If there's basically anybody else out there, he makes his well known. Jaeger, do you mind? Can it? Okay. Maybe dog is smarter than about half the employees I had. So, he responds well. And when he's outside, he's hard to get in sometimes. You know how dogs are when they get outside and they feel good and they're running around. Well,
why do they do that at 10 o'clock at night?
It's always 10 o'clock at night. And I screamed at Jaeger a couple times. This has been about a month or two ago. And he just ignored me, which was pretty rare for him. He really doesn't ignore me that often. And I got exasperated and I said, I'm going downstairs. And he turned around and looked at me. I said, that's right, I'm going downstairs. And I came back in the house and he comes flying back up there. Because all I got to do is say, I'm going downstairs. And he likes to come down with me, going down into the studio. He's got two spots that he can sit. One is right next to me, and there's another pad on the other side that he can sit where he can see the back door and the steps and whatnot when he's on guard duty. He is well taken care of. Let me tell you. He eats. We buy the food that comes in the rolls that's refrigerated. We just slice it and then chop it up.
Mm-hmm.
So when he stares at me and I'm eating something, I just look at him and go, I do not feel sorry for you because you eat better than me sometimes.
You're one of those people I see on TV now advertising that keeps their dog food in the refrigerator.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it has been remarkable how his health has improved. How the hair on his body is looking really nice and thick and pretty, and he runs a lot better. His leg isn't hurting as much. It's actually improved his health. Absolutely.
That's good.
So I wholeheartedly support the idea of feeding your dog, and it's got peas and carrots and all kinds of vegetables mixed in with it. So.
My dog is nearly 12 years old.
Wow.
Can drag my ass all over the yard. She's 60 pounds. Eats anything she wants to. And I'm not going to change.
Well, that is your option, and I understand that. That's completely your option. But Jaeger is he's got thyroid issues, so we got to keep him very, very. Yeah. He takes a pill in the morning and a pill at night, and has to do it for the rest of his life because he's got hyperthyroidism, and so we have to. You got to keep him with the best of the best. Well, it looks like Elon Musk has failed at his last endeavor. He was backing the Supreme Court race in Wisconsin, and his candidate, who he put a chunk of money, and it's Elon Musk kind of chunk of money, into, lost by 10 percentage points. In other words, they weren't even close.
Yeah, it's interesting now that he's backed away from the administration, and the administration has backed away from him. They kind of won't touch each other with a 10-foot pole, and he's committed to 5 more years at Tesla. I guess like a heads down commitment to see if they can rebuild the brand and start selling cars again.
Those are some ugly cars. I mean, drop dead, just ugly cars. I've seen a couple on the road in my travels the last couple of months, and they're just drop dead ugly. I mean, if you're going for looking good, that ain't the one to go in. If you're going for looking like I got a lot of money, that's probably the one you want to buy.
They look like a Kia and a DeLorean had a baby.
Yeah,
Now, are y'all referring to the Cybertruck,
yeah.
the EV that's not a truck and not a car? It might be fine as an electric vehicle, but it's a terrible truck. And I should know, I've been driving a truck since I was 20-something. So,
William, you awake up there?
he's
No.
blinking.
He's blinking. Yeah, I guess he's alive. All right, well, seeing that William's alive, let's go
Yeah, I'm
into...
alive.
Awesome.
I'm having trouble hearing.
Let's see. What else is big news this week? Sean Diddy Combs he's getting deeper and deeper. I mean, one of his assistants was talking about cleaning up after one of his, what they call freak offs. And he was cleaning up drugs and baby oil. I don't know if I'd want to be involved in something like that. That sounds kind of
I'm pretty sure I wouldn't.
sounds a little
pretty
bit
sure.
creepy to me. I mean, but to each his own. What can we say? And,
Well, I can say this: he's probably going away for a long time.
he very well could be going away for a long time. But
I mean, some of that is incontrovertible. I mean, you just got some evidence on video, and you know,
oh well,
the
the
business
video
about
what he
shit.
did to that girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
That
mean,
It's
was-
about her acquiescing to some of that because, well, you know, she said she was scared. Okay,
Yeah.
if somebody did that to me, I'd be scared of them too.
I'd be hunting my gun. That's where I'd be doing.
Well, I was gonna say they wouldn't do it but once.
They do it once, and then I'd get loose, and then I'd come back to see them, and then I'd go to jail.
But then, yeah.
Um,
Well, we got us a new airplane.
yeah, we did. The Defense
At least-
Department has accepted the Boeing Palace.
At least the president does. He's got a new airplane, which will have to be scrutinized from here to eternity and back.
They have to rip out every electrical cable in the aircraft to make it to where it's functional.
It'll never fly again
It,
if they do
it'll be-
that.
It'll be parked.
Yeah.
But that's what they're saying. They got to rip out every electrical cord in that plane. Everything.
Oh well, I mean, you know, if he was a private citizen, Donald Trump, go for it. I mean, you know, that we wouldn't have to do anything. He could just take it as is. But
Now,
when
that's
you're the
probably what's
president
gonna
of the United States, you got to make sure that there's nothing surveillance wise in there, or could suddenly be accessed from somewhere else, and all of a sudden all the power goes away, including power to the engines. I mean, come on, it's a security nightmare.
Absolutely.
But then again, what else is new?
What else is new? Well, what do y'all think? We go on to the meat of the situation. We're gonna. Chef Bill here is going to do a recipe on fish tacos, and I'm gonna tell you what, they are pretty damn tasty.
I'm looking forward to this.
Go
Yeah.
for it.
Cooking with Chef Bill. We're going to first start making the slaw. It's an integral part of this, and you want to cut up the cabbage, take out the core, cut it down in 2/3 of a quarter cabbage. Cut your cabbage up real quick, and then we're going to add the ingredients: salt, black pepper, relish, sweet relish, mayonnaise, and the acid I use is lemon juice. Mix that up real well. Now you want to have your fish. I use tilapia, draining. Then you want to add butter, melted butter to it. Add your black spice of choice to it on both sides. Next we want to get our skillet good and hot. Put your butter in there. I'm going to wait till it turns nice and brown. Gives it a little bit more flavor, kind of a nutty flavor. Now you're going to add your fish. You want to move it around a little bit so you can sear it before you let it sit there and cook. That way it won't stick. A little area in between them. Get your fish nice and brown. While that's happening, you want to have some black beans cooking, and then you mash them up with a fork till they're like a paste. Take your taco shells and put them in the oven on 250 for about 2 minutes. Now we're going to start putting them together. Put the black bean in first, add your fish, then add your slaw to it, some pickled jalapenos. Gives it a little bit of bite, and a little bit of chopped tomatoes for a little color. You can also put avocado on it, and then you have it. Fish tacos. And next week on Intelligent Ramblings, mozzarella meatballs.
Holy cow, those fish tacos look good, Bill. Tonight we're doing the last two things in the series. This is lesson 3. And so I'm gonna start with our quick review, end with a quick review, and then in the middle, we're gonna talk about inflation and growth. Okay, our quick review in the beginning is this page from lesson 1, and the thing I want to point out is those 5 measures of the economy: total output, national income or GDP, number 2, employment, number 3, government policy, remember that's monetary policy and fiscal policy, number 4, inflation, and number 5, growth. If you have a handle, just a everyday knowledge of what those numbers are and the direction they're going in, things that are happening in the economy will make a lot of sense to you. And when you hear headlines about this or headlines about that have to do with our country's economy, you'll understand better what's going on, what's important and what's not. So let's talk about inflation really quick. It's measured by the Consumer Price Index or PCE, Personal Consumption Expenditures. Both of those measures are accessible from government websites, and the Fed favors personal consumption expenditures as their measure of inflation. And all inflation is changes in the cost of living in the economy. Costs can go up and we have inflation, or costs can go down and we have deflation. Inflation or deflation are damaging if they are not controlled. Inflation increased 2.3% in April. A little inflation is good. you want to have some inflation happening in the economy all the time. It's an indicator of an expanding economy. If your paycheck is increasing faster than inflation, you and the economy are doing really well. A lot of inflation is really bad. It means costs are out of control, prices are up everywhere, and there's a loss of buying power for your paycheck. High inflation over time degrades everything about our economy. Last little note, in modern economies, inflation can be mitigated by increases in productivity. This is something that's really interesting and important because we have kept inflation down at some cases over the last 20, 30 years because of improvements in technology and innovations which make us more productive. So innovation and technology can improve our productivity, which dampens the effect of inflation. Growth is measured as change in GDP. There's that number from the top of the list and the bottom of the list, GDP. So percentage change in GDP is tracked monthly and year over year. Negative growth for 2 or 3 months means we're in a recession. Positive managed growth in GDP is what we want to see in our economy. And so, for example, if you look at this chart, I know it's a bunch of numbers running together, but it goes from 2022, the first quarter of 2022, all the way out to the first quarter of 2025. And these are the percentage change numbers for GDP, each of those quarters. And you can see it varies, not a lot. These aren't big swings, but in the first quarter of 2022, GDP actually went down by a percentage point. Over the next quarters through the rest of 2022, all through 2023, and all 4 quarters of 2024, we had positive, reasonable growth in GDP. The first quarter of 2025, it went back down. And it went back down largely because people tried to get in front of the tariffs, and so they bought a lot of things, stocked up their inventories, bought clothes, bought consumer goods, and so we had a larger trade deficit than we would have had normally. If we have a trade deficit, it works to bring down GDP, and that's what happened in the first quarter of this year. What I expect is hopefully it's going to smooth out a little bit, and we won't see that number continue as a negative value. So last page, we're going to review again the 5 things that are important to know about so that you feel like you're in touch with our economy and what it's doing. Number 1 is total output, GDP. That's the big number of what we produce in a year. Right now we're at about $29 trillion of GDP. That was 2024, about 29 trillion. Employment, if you follow the initial claims for unemployment, they will tell you what the level of jobless claims are in the economy weekly. And they usually run about 200 to 250,000 claims for unemployment per week. So that gives you, if they vary outside of that, like if they get up to 400,000, 500,000 for some reason, that is a job loss number that is concerning. Government policy, fiscal and monetary policy. Fiscal policy belongs to the government. That's the funds that the U.S. Congress appropriates and we spend as a country. And monetary policy, which is the domain of the Fed, they mostly control inflation and the employment situation by way of the Fed funds rate. Inflation is measured with the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, or the Personal Consumption Expenditures Index, the PCE. Growth is the percentage change in GDP. That's your number from number one. So growth in the first quarter of 2025, as you recall me saying, went down 2.3%. So these are the 5 factors that are, there are others, but these are the really important ones for you to be able to understand what's happening in our economy and make a judgment about what its effects are going to be on you and your economic life. So thanks for listening. That's, I know this is terribly exciting, but it's important. Sometimes important things are not exciting. And I feel like if you go through lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, you'll have a good background on some basic numbers that will help you understand what's going on in the economy. Visit intelligentramblings.com for a look at each of these lessons, their PowerPoint slides, and you can download them to your heart's content and refer to them in the future. All right. That's it for me.
This webcast is brought to you by William Lofton Photography. They can be found at williamlofton.com. Offering event residential portraiture at williamlofton.com.
Well, good evening, everybody. My turn now. I suppose I'm Gary Glenn, and I want you to think about something that's coming up. Memorial Day. We celebrate it on Monday. Now, this is not to be confused with Veterans Day. Veterans Day is for all folks who are serving or have served. Memorial Day is a bit different. It is reserved for the people who gave the last full measure of their devotion. Those who protected us in our way of life at the expense of their own. Some of these folks never got a chance to get married, or have kids, or to grow old. These were the ones who charged the beaches at Normandy, fought the Battle of the Bulge, or slogged it out from island to island in the Pacific, or were on the frozen mountains of Korea, or slogged through the jungles of Southeast Asia, or went to the mountains of Afghanistan, or the deserts of the Middle East. These were the ones who saved the world from evil regimes, and they saved the world that they never got a chance to enjoy. And I admit, it causes me sadness and not a little bit of anger to see people, kids in particular, not stand for the Pledge of Allegiance or the national anthem. It is their right, of course, a right for which those mostly young men and women fought and many died. It just pisses me off. You see, the pledge and the anthem stand for the highest ideals of what we are supposed to be. It's not what some have co-opted over the ages for their own particular slanted agendas. Have we made mistakes as a people, as a nation? Well, sure we have. We are human, after all. Yet with all of that, why are all these thousands fighting to come here, to be here? Because they see a way of life that will make them better. Because we are supposed to be better, to stand for truth and justice and freedom and integrity and kindness. Now, some of you are old enough like me to remember the old show where it was said that the man of steel fought a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way. Indeed, the battle is never-ending. I still got a little bit of a handle, I think, on truth and justice, but I'm not really sure what the American way encompasses anymore. But you see, it's not too late. We are to be that shining city on the hill with liberty and justice for all. Did you get that? For all, not just people we agree with. And maybe we need to listen to people that we don't agree with and learn to disagree agreeably. We might actually learn something from somebody. So let me close with this advice. When you see a veteran, you thank them for their service. And for those we cannot thank in person, let us praise and honor their memory. Because of them, we get to enjoy this life we live. We get to raise our children. We get to see them educated and cared for. We get to love our grandchildren. We get to get up and get knocked down and get back up and get knocked down and get back up again. These people that we honor on Memorial Day gave us the gift of life in this country, and that is a pearl far beyond price. We salute you. We thank you for that. God bless the USA. That's my time out. Thanks for yours. I'm Gary Glenn.
Hello, I'm William. I hope you can understand me. But this is sports. And tonight we're going to talk about something I hope everybody's interested in. What is NIL? Well, it used to be, a long time ago, it stood for zero, nada, zilch, nothing. Like in a soccer match, one team leads the other 1-0, nil meaning zero. Well, now it is an acronym for name, image, and likeness. An athlete in high school or in college, it refers to the rights that they have to make money. Well, they profit from this through the name, image, and likeness, through endorsements, sponsorships, and other commercial activities. In other words, it's allowed student athletes to monetize their personal brand name while participating in their athletic adventures. Key aspects of NIL are the rights of publicity, which gives the individuals control over how their identity is used in commercial activities. Athletes can engage in various NIL activities, including endorsements, social media presentations, product endorsements, and mainly anything that has to do with the school making money off that athlete. Well, this is all well and good. What if the team sells a player's jersey? How much money is he supposed to get? And what about the player that doesn't have any jersey sales? What does he get? These athletes are making the schools lots of money. And I guess this is a way to show them that they can get some of it back. But it's not fair to all athletes, only the select few. Who makes this money? Well, Arch Manning, University of Texas quarterback, not even first string quarterback, by the way, made $6.8 million this past year. Cooper Flagg, University of Duke's basketball player, made $4.8 million. Carson Beck, former University of Georgia quarterback, now University of Miami quarterback, made $4.3 million. And Livy Dunn, that very attractive gymnast from LSU, who I'm sure you've seen in commercials on TV, made $4.1 million. As you can see, millions of dollars can be made by some athletes. The problem with NIL money is that not all fair to all players. What about that lineman who protects the quarterback and running back and gives them their yardage and gives them their popularity? They don't make anything or little to nothing. They need money just like everybody else for car payments, date night, items that we take for granted. The rich schools get richer and the rich athletes get richer, I'm afraid. I just don't think it's fair to everybody on the team. It's, you're only as strong as your weakest link. Well, those weak links need something too. And what are your thoughts on this? Can the present NIL agreements continue to survive as is? I think not. NIL needs some work. For sports, this has been William Howington, and I'm looking for your thoughts on this as well. Good night.
Well, we lost Gary for a minute. Maybe we lost him for the night. Who knows? Anyway, this is our finishing remarks. And William, I absolutely agree with you. The NIL is absolutely...
Sound effect.
and I'm getting a phone call. Well, let's just turn that off.
It is a mess, William and Bill.
Oh.
And it's the NCAA versus House. That decision is going to change NIL over the next few seasons. It's kind of the Wild West right now. It's whoever's got the money.
Oh, yeah.
If they're willing to pay somebody to play, then that's the school they go to. And so, William, your comments about sort of the rich getting richer in the NIL world, I think is very true for right now.
Yeah, it makes a difference in recruiting, that's for sure.
Well, that's probably why Georgia lost that Jackson Cantrell fella. That Miami put up more money. Lost a five-star tackle. But you're absolutely correct. What about the guards that, don't look good on TV, what about the center? I mean, you hear of any centers getting big NIL deals or any guards?
No. I think they get some. There are some that get some amount of NIL, but it's nothing like what the quarterbacks or wide receivers or running backs are getting.
And that's going to eventually get to the point where it's bothering those guys that's happening. But college football is the wild, wild west. Is the best way you put it. And I don't think it's going to. I'm hoping it'll get better because it's it's still entertaining and we're all still Georgia fans. But
it's turned into professional football.
Well,
and not just football, other
that's what it
sports.
is.
Basketball. And like we're talking about Livy Dunn, the gymnast. She makes money because she's good looking and has a good personality. What about the gymnast that's not all that good looking? They don't get anything.
Well, on that basis, we all should be millionaires, but I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
Sorry,
they-
guys.
They've got to put a cap on it, number one, and number two, they got to spread it out.
Yeah, it's got to be spread out.
I don't see how it's fair for. I'm a guard and I'm protecting my quarterback, and he's making $1 million this year, and I'm making $3,000. You know, I'm working just as hard as he is, so you know, I'm absolutely hoping that it doesn't destroy college football.
The collectives that are associated with each of the schools, I think some schools do this and some schools don't, put in, like, they pool a certain amount of money to divide up among the have-nots on the team so that everybody gets some money, not very much in comparison, but it still doesn't make up the gap between an Arch Manning, like William was talking about, and a center or a guard on a football team. I think it's going to cause a lot of schools to take a look at just dropping out of athletics, either dropping football or dropping a lot of other sports and keeping football. I think we're going to lose
That'd be
schools.
unfortunate.
Yeah, they just can't afford. They can't keep up. It's unfortunate is the
Well,
word, William. You're right.
It's the myth of the student athlete that's just not there much anymore, except for the people who are truly there to use it as a springboard to get an education and go do something else besides play a sport.
Well,
Those people
that-
think they're going to be there to make a living doing what it is. They're not interested in economics 101. Sorry, John. They're interested in
They're not.
a professional contract.
Well, you heard Stetson Bennett say it. His famous quote, "I didn't come here to play college. I came here to play football." And that was all he was interested in doing.
and on the exact opposite end, the tight end for Georgia, who made was all pro this year for the Oakland Raiders
In his rookie year,
in his rookie year, broke all them records.
Brock Bowers.
Yeah,
Yes.
Brock Bowers.
Las Vegas Raiders.
He, I call them Oakland Raiders.
Yeah.
He graduated from Georgia. He went back instead of going to spring camp, and went back to Georgia and completed his degree and graduated. That's a
Good for
smart
him.
Good
kid.
for him.
Now he's got a college education and he's making buku bucks. So
Yeah.
there
Well,
are
that,
some
that
smart
happens
ones there.
sometimes, you know. I mean, look at Shaquille O'Neal. He's Dr. O'Neal. He's got a PhD.
Yeah,
Didn't need it. Just got
Yeah.
it because he thought it was valuable.
Dr. O'Neal. What about that? Well, before we go, wanted to ask, well, first of all, I want to thank the people that tune into us later on after we're no longer live and watch the show. And if you do, when you're there, please subscribe to our channel. It keeps us going, and that's what we need. We need everybody to subscribe so that we can keep this channel going. But I think that's just about it, everybody. And
Yep.
we
Well-
will. What you say, Gary?
One sports note, William, I don't want to steal your thunder, but
Yeah.
from Hall County, the Cherokee Bluff Bears finished as state runners-up in baseball. Once again, they did it last year in a different classification, but they went up and played Troop and lost the third and deciding game today. But hey, you know, there's a whole lot of people playing baseball in the state of Georgia that did not finish as state runners-up. So
Yeah, at least they
congratulations
were
to
there.
Coach Jeremy Kemp and the Bears. Yep.
And one other note, Jim Irsay, the owner and CEO of the Baltimore, or not Baltimore, of the Indianapolis Coats. I'll never get used to calling them Indianapolis. Indianapolis Colts died at age 65.
Oh my!
So
I didn't know that.
he may have more money than me, but I outlived his ass. So, what's important? What can I say? Can't take those
Here
millions
we
to the
are.
grave with him.
Here we stand.
And we all outlived him.
Gentlemen,
Hope
Been
everybody
real.
has a great day and a great weekend.
Yeah,
Same to
happy
you.
Memorial
Thanks,
Day.
everybody.
happy Memorial Day.